And now, from Los Angeles, California, the queen of salsa soul and the host of Hollywood in the Bar, Techeetah.
Hi everybody, it's me Techeetah, your queen of salsa soul. Thank you for joining me yet on another episode. For those that are looking at your phone screen and trying to figure out, who the hell is this Latina? Today we are going to be bringing and talking to, if you remember, I had brought my very first recording artist that I had produced a music video for, Liam DePaul. Actually, we're going to have his mother, who is an actress. She's going to be on our spotlight today, talking about her journey through acting, and most of all, we're going to talk about abuse. We're going to talk about abuse in women, okay, and quite a few other things too. And you know what? And I don't want to give it all away. And what the majority of us go through, men and women, you know, it's just not a woman thing, it's not just a man thing, it's not just a children thing, it's a human thing. And it's also, it's a, matter of fact, let's even go further than that. It's a human thing, it's an animal thing, it's an earth thing, it's an environment thing, it's a thing. And it should be taken seriously, right? Literally. So we're going to be talking about all that stuff today. Mostly now that we are on the lockdown, you know, instead of, you know, and then the good thing about it is that there's a lot of people that are still inside their houses, being locked down. And you know, I've noticed that there's more people actually getting along than anything. They're getting to know each other. And then again, just saying, there's a lot of people that are locked down really getting to know each other. Like, when did you start smacking your gums? And when did your feet start smelling? And ew, what's that growing out of your nose? Yeah, I'm just saying. For example, Art, you were telling me something about something the other day. What, the 15 people? The what? Now what?
Just during the lockdown now, people are starting to get to know their family. I mean,
you're stuttering again.
Oh, am I? Okay. People are starting to know, get to know their family.
He gets so freaking shy. I'm like, you're behind the freaking camera, for God's sake. You're not here showing you like I am. Yeah, no, I can't see your hands. Show your fingers. No, I still can't see you show your fingers. There you go. There you go. See?
So anyways, things, you know, people are starting to really know each other. I mean, they're away from each other, you know, job, you know, they're sleeping. Some people are working days and nights. And but they're together now, you know, parents.
I know, but
children,
I know, but you talked about somebody that killed 15 people.
Yeah.
What was that
well,
about?
it's just that, you know, I think I heard last week that 15 people were killed that just from being indoors. You know, people abusing each other, and they're killing each other. Things
15
are happening.
people in one house, or 15 people altogether?
No, just, you know, different households. People are abusing each other, and you know, things are happening like that because they're confined. You know, and
so they're really, like I said before, y'all really getting to know each other, okay? You know, Jose is like, María, qué gordo te que estás poniendo. Y tú, güey, mira, tú también gordo, feo, más feo que me recuerdo. I even told my husband the other day, I know this sounds bad. I said, sweetie, I hope you're not coming from Iraq all fat, because I don't want no fat. Just because you like fat don't mean I like fat. I like my men nice and trim. Okay, I'm just saying.
he got kind of quiet on the
I know he did. I really got kind of quiet. It's like, like big baby, just because you like, just because you chubby chaser don't mean I am, okay? Because two bellies don't bump. I'm just well, that's pretty sad though. No, on the real, yeah, it's pretty sad that people are freaking offing themselves.
I'm just hoping that people are getting more together. And I mean, I remember going to my brother's house during Christmas. We there's a basket.
Not everybody's going to be doing kumbaya.
I'm just saying, we drop our phones in a basket, and then we, you know, it's like family time.
When did you do that?
Last Christmas. We'd like leave your phone at the door in the basket. It's like, you know, turn it off and leave it there.
That's a good idea.
And you know, be with family, and they're kind of forced to do that now. I mean, that's what you're indoors with your family.
You just don't realize. I remember last year, because we were supposed to all go on a cruise ship. God only knows we ain't gonna go on a cruise ship this time, right? Or for a very long time. I'm really never gonna get my mother on a cruise ship after all this crap happened. But we have a family trip. We try to do one every year, and we were in tents, and we were out in the middle of nowhere. Okay, we did not get any cell reception. Do you know how much of a peace of mind I had? You know, I really, this phone, I hate this phone. Because see, I'm a product of the 60s and the 70s and 80s, back when we didn't have a phone. Remember when we didn't have a phone?
Hell yeah.
Now, if you don't have your phone with you, not only are you screwed up in the head because you feel like you have to keep on contact with somebody, or, oh no, even worse. Somebody calls you, you don't pick up the phone. They're like, where were you? My battery went down. Now I know your battery didn't go down. Okay, I was in the other room. Why didn't you hear your phone? I was taking a shit, for God's sake! Come on, you can't even take a crap anymore.
They think you have your phone in your hand all the time.
No, that's the thing. And everywhere I go, I have this freaking phone glued to my hand because I'm afraid that I'm going to miss a ding, or I'm afraid that I'm going to miss a text or something. And it's sad that we cannot go without this beach of phone. You know, I had a housekeeper that used to work for me, and she never had her phone on. And do you know that I envied her? I really did. I envied her. And like right now, as I'm picking up that phone, I have the freaking thing on silent. And you know what? I have peace of mind. I really do. I have peace of mind. So, you know, Art, you're right. Just by putting the phone down, you know, and doing certain things. But again, like you said, a lot of us are getting to know each other, you know.
I'll turn my phone off at night. I want to watch Netflix. I turn the darn thing off and toss it to the side. I don't want to be bothered by it.
You know, and the thing is too, but you know, it's always that fear that, you know, your mom's gonna call, or your son's gonna call, or your kids are gonna call. And this is what I'm saying to myself. I'm like, what did we do back in the 70s?
We were closer to our family, I guess.
No.
We had
bullshit. Give me a
we had the regular phone. But
exactly, regular phone.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's when I think I'm gonna install a regular phone, you guys.
Landline.
Yeah, landline. I have a landline. And you know, it's so funny we're talking about this because this is what I'm gonna tell my mom. I'm gonna tell my mom, and I am going to give them my landline. I put a landline for emergencies or whatever in case I end up being on this piece of crap too much. But I'm gonna give my son the landline, and I'm gonna give my mother the landline. I'm gonna tell them, listen, call me on the landline. If I don't answer that landline, then call my cell phone, right? And you know what I'm gonna do?
That's good.
I'm just gonna turn off the freaking cell phone all day, because you know what? I really do. And I figure if you have enough time to be on your cell phone looking at that, then you know what? You ain't got nothing to do. Literally, again, of course, unless that, you know, you are some type of online role model, and this is a part of your job and things like that, like I'm doing this talk show. But you know, even me, I look at that freaking phone too much, you know, unless it's your business. And again, all of us run our businesses. But if it's not your business, I'm just saying, it's not your business, put down the phone for a little bit. You know, concentrate on something else. I'm just saying, okay? Just saying. We'll be right back. You know? Put the phone down, put the phone down.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Midnight hour, whiskey sour, open up, the game is on. Midnight hour, whiskey sour, open up, the game is on. Walking in the city, chasing Milky Way stuff. Everybody getting picky, running baby around. Midnight hour, whiskey sour,
Join Techeetah Lopez and Hollywood in the Park's entire audience by advertising your brand, product, or personality with your commercial here. Email techeetah@gmail.com for more info.
Oh, 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 what a spanking. But man, does it feel good. Hello? Yeah, that's right. This is the show where we take you a funk above the rest. Where you hear the old funk The new funk,
Take a good look at the click, look at the shine, man. Look at how we dipping and moving, getting the grind, man.
the everything in between funk.
Sometimes I find myself back then, just like an hero. That's right, I do it for my family.
We showcase new independent artists and yes, we even throw in a little affection.
Is this just a dream?
Yep, this is the funkiest show on radio.
Hi, and welcome back. Well, this is my favorite segment, which is called The Spotlight. Now, about a couple of weeks ago, I had a young man by the name of Liam DePaux. And this is gorgeous mother. God, you know, I like that last name like you would not believe. So your son was telling me that it's your maiden name.
Yes.
Oh wow, so is that like tell me a little bit about your family here.
It's actually the French form of my maiden name. Because my maiden name is Petite.
Ooh,
And so it's the French form.
You're petite. Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. You know, it's nice to know that, you know, some of the people in my family, they sing. A lot of them are artists. They draw a lot, and they're tattooists, and they painted murals and things like that. Mm-hmm. So we have that artistic thing in our life also, that talent. And musicians and stuff, mostly music, right? Mm-hmm. But it's nice to know that it's in the family, right? So you are an actress,
Yes.
right? So tell me a little bit about some of the movies you've been in, or what you've done. What have you done in the industry?
Okay. Well, one of the first projects that I did was a movie called Bipolar Bear. And it was about
Bipolar Bear.
And it was about it was mainly about teenage abuse that's going on in the teenage world. And my part was a drug addict, abusive mother.
Oh my God!
It was really quite fun, but it was really. I know it was
That's
horrible.
awful.
I felt horrible being that part, but it had such a wonderful message to teenagers that you don't have to take it. You don't have to be in those relationships. That you can find help, and that you really should get help. That you don't have to be abused by your mom or your dad or whoever.
What do kids do now? In that movie, do they give like a helpline after that?
Yes,
Okay.
they give help. They tell ways to get help through counseling, the hotline, friends, teachers. Just tell someone. Just tell someone. If it's somebody that's not a family member, like your parent, tell your parents, of course.
But you know, how about those people, Nancy, and I'm glad we're bringing this up. How about those people, or not people, but children, right, that are afraid of saying something? Because, you know, I know in my, okay, we have Latinos and Latino people of color, right? Mm-hmm. And it could be all across the board, but I'm just saying from my personal experience, if we have our parents beating us and abusing us, and we go to the neighbor or we go to somewhere, right? And then they come back and they ask our parents, did you do, blah? Oh, she was like, get your ass up in that room. And boy, we got the chancla. Chancla is you know what chancla is? we got the shoe, right? You got the shoe.
Oh, okay.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Oh, you're never gonna see that. And it's over. And that's why a lot of kids are afraid to say anything, because they're afraid. Oh, your mama gonna get you. Oh, she's gonna beat you. Te va a dar una chingada vendado. You know?
And I think that's why it's important that we get the message across that they need to tell someone in authority, like a teacher or policeman or somebody that that they trust, not to go to their parents, that they can.
Somebody that will go to like a oh God, social services and things like
That
that.
they'll call for help instead of going to their parents, because that is probably their biggest fear. That they're going to go straight to their parents and go, did you do this? Because naturally the parents are going to go, no,
No.
well, we're so innocent. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a big important message. And as an older child, which this dealt with teenagers, it was easier to convey that message. To make sure you tell a counselor at school, a teacher that you trust. You can't call the police and tell them directly. Pick up the phone and call. Everybody has a phone now.
Yeah, exactly.
and get it out there, or call this hotline that they put up.
Wow.
So it's a little
Golly.
easier with teenagers to convey that message. With smaller children, it's a little harder because of that fear, and there are other fears, of course, around that.
Yeah, you got your. If your family member finds out and for some reason they don't want you to, they know what they're doing and they know that there's abuse, right? And they don't want anybody finding out because there's a lot of people out there that are on welfare, social service, so are paying their way. They're going to lose their money. Matter of fact, there was an incident just recently. In Palmdale, here in Palmdale. Matter of fact, I live here in Quartz Hill, but nearby is Palmdale. And there was a little boy that was abused, literally abused. And he had cigarette burns on him.
Gosh.
He got tortured. He got his arms were broken. He got beaten. And this is the shitty part of the whole thing. He told parents. He told, social workers knew about it, police officers knew about it, teachers knew about it. They all knew about it, but since the parents always say, the blah, 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 they looked over it before, and the child is dead. They did a documentary on him on Netflix. Did you hear about that?
No, I did not, but that's inexcusable.
So that's what I'm saying. It goes so far, right? When children are abused, they don't know if they're lying or it's just so hard. And I wish there was somewhere, that somewhere they can go, actually somewhere they can go. But you know what? Do you have a clip on that part?
I do. I do.
Great. All right, so let's go to the clip and we'll be right back.
Okay.
I've thought a lot of things about you. I made a lot of judgments. But I never thought that my baby would turn out to be such a dirty little whore.
You think I'm stupid, Corinne? Huh? I'm not having a whore living in my house. Got that? Look at the way you dress. You dress like a piece of meat, Corinne. You dress like this? You're just asking for Corinne! I didn't teach you to do this to me! Dare you disrespect me? Treat you to me like this, Corinne! What is wrong with you? Get the
Join Techeetah Lopez and Hollywood in the Park's entire audience by advertising your brand, product, or personality with your commercial here. Email techeetah@gmail.com for more info.
Okay, we're back. Oh, what the heck was that? Oh, first of all, I'm going to tell you one thing. That was good. That was some girl. I'm looking at you all mousy, real quiet. Look at her. All right. And I'm looking at all you mousy and something, you're like, I'm like, why calling people tramps and you dressing like a hoochie mama and things like that. But you know what? You did a great job.
Thank you. It was a little traumatic. She, the girl that did that with me, Jordy, she did a great job. It was hard to play that part because
Oh, you didn't seem like you were having a problem.
I know, it was fun, but it was hard. Because being a mom, and so protective, that mama hen side comes out, and you're like, oh, who could do this to their own child? And I see how it affected her, me saying those things to her. And, there are parts of that where I just wanted to go, I'm so sorry.
I didn't mean
You
it.
poor thing, this is awful. But, I know.
How did you feel when you got that part, considering the way you feel?
I was excited.
Oh, you?
I was really
Oh,
excited.
I get to play a bad bitch.
I know. When I got there, they're like, "Here's your wardrobe." I was like, "Oh my, okay, okay, I can do this." But yeah, it was a good movie. It's impactful.
And you would be, no, I can't say you would be surprised, but I'm surprised how many women actually, they know. A woman knows when their husband is cheating. A woman knows when the man is an MFer. You know what I'm saying? But they're in so denial. They would rather blame somebody else, some other woman, some other teenager. Oh, well, look at you, the way you dress. You're a hoochie mama. No wonder my husband's after you. Instead of like,
Yeah, in this case, the woman was blaming her daughter, and
That's awful.
just so she wouldn't have to be alone. And I thought, this is so pathetic.
exactly. That's the thing. It was her own flesh and blood. Blaming her own flesh and blood. The reason my husband wants you is because you're a hoochie mama. Bitch, look at you. Look at the example. And I want everybody to understand, right? It's like, if your husband cheats on you, or if your husband goes for your daughter, your niece, or your nephew, or whatever, I'm so sorry. It is not their fault. It's the man that you're with.
Yes.
Nobody, no, not worth it. They don't twist their arm. They don't make them, they don't, it's like, I was in a trance and I was hypnotized and he had all this power over me and I couldn't stop but molest them, or,
No.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. And there's actually men and women out there like that will turn on their own flesh and blood or their relatives because they're so insecure.
Yes.
That's what I'm gonna say. Insecure and needy. I am saying that, right? That they would rather believe that bad person. In all reality, if there's anybody out that's listening to me, and you may get upset at me, but you know what? Then you're the one that needs help. And then if you have somebody in your life, then you need to get that person help. But you know what? When it comes to me, I've been married 4 times. So don't get me started. That is another episode, okay? That is another episode. I'm telling you, I could not, I just couldn't. I couldn't do that. I'm trying to think if I know anybody. And I'm always going to come out and call my kettle black. Is that what you would call it? Who's calling kettle black or something? And I'll be the first one to come out and say, okay, do I have anybody like that in my family? And I can't even remotely even think of anybody in my family that would be like that. So I could imagine how hard it was and how foreign, but you played a damn good part. Like if you would like, she just fit right in there.
I know, and my family's like, that's so not you. I said, I know, but it was fun playing the part.
Yeah. So what other things have you done?
Well, I was in Front Runner with Hugh Jackman, which he is so nice.
Aww.
And so nice to look at.
Ooh, eye candy. You know what I'm saying? My husband, don't ever get me in front of the rock.
The Rock.
The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
Yes.
Honey, I love you very much, but I don't ever want to be around that man. He's just eye candy.
I know, he's gorgeous.
So how did you do it?
It was nice. I was on the campaign staff for that movie, and I had a few scenes with him, and one of the scenes that actually got cut, I was so, we did a scene where we shook hands. I was like, nice to meet you, nice to meet you. And then he came in, he was meeting the staff. And we did that scene like 30 times. And so I go home and I told my husband, I said, guess what I got to do today? I shook hands and talked to Hugh Jackman like for 3 hours.
Oh!
So he's like, oh, I wish I could have done that. He's like, he thinks he's like awesome too. So he's like, the Wolverine? I'm like, yes! But it was fun. I'm thinking, oh, he's gonna be so jealous. And he's like, I wanted to do that.
Well, same thing with my husband. He has a man crush too on that rock.
On the rock, yeah.
Come on, who doesn't, right?
I know.
So do you have anything coming up soon?
Well, I write.
Oh,
so
matter of fact, you had told me that. Mm-hmm. You were writing a book called Miss Molly?
Yes, it's a screenplay. So I'm working on that. I've just finished the final draft, and so working on getting that not published, but picked up to be made into a movie.
You want to tell us just a little bit what it's about?
Miss Molly is about a homeless woman, and she comes into the life of this rich family, and the rich family is distraught. They've lost a family member, and so they're all just kind of living their own life, and they're the parents are a little distant from each other. They have a little girl, and the little girl is just working to try to get the attention of the mom and the dad, and they're just living their own lives in their own little worlds. And Molly comes in, and she just has this way of just kind of bringing the whole family together, and it's just a cute, heartwarming story that
almost like that that Nanny McPhee. Is it?
Yeah, sort of. But it's
she's homeless.
She's homeless. And
how old is she?
A tragedy. Miss Molly is in her late 50s, early 60s, in that age range. And she becomes homeless because her husband died, and they each had no family. They were only children of only children, and she was an educated woman. She wasn't just, they weren't poor, trashy people just on the streets kind of people like everyone thinks homeless people are.
Yeah.
She was a well-educated school teacher. Her husband was an insurance salesman, and he traveled a lot, so she went with him. And he died, and they actually didn't have insurance. And she ended up losing her home, and
lost everything.
Lost.
And and we would be surprised, again, not surprised, how many people that are homeless and don't have family or children, So with that said, a lot of the people that are out there that are homeless, people don't judge, because you never know. No. Like my mama says, you don't ever know their story. You don't know where they come from. You don't know what they've been through. And it could have been a man, a very wealthy or wealthy woman, married to a man that has never had children, right? And all their family, say for example, they were the youngest, and all their family has passed away. They have no one to turn to. And then they lose everything, and then they'll be out in the street.
Right, and they could very well be very well educated.
And there are a lot of very well educated.
Yeah, PhD people. Yeah. They just can't find a job. They just can't make it, and a lot of employers won't hire you if you don't have an address.
Yeah.
It's something as simple as an address, and it's sad.
It's sad. And a lot of people are not willing to help out, The other day when we were in the car, remember when we were in the car when we were filming your son's video? Right? I don't know if you remember, we saw two gentlemen talking to Art in the car next door. They were next to us. Those two guys, they kept on bugging. They had asked him for a bottle of water.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. I'm like, bottle of water? He goes, yeah, that's all he wanted was a bottle of water. And he asked me if I had one in the car. And I'm like, did you give it to him? He goes, I didn't have a bottle of water.
We didn't have water.
I go, you should have sent him over to us. We had a bottle of water. It was just a bottle of water. That was, I've never been asked they've always asked for money or something like that.
Yeah, usually it's money. Now there was a guy, and I thought this was genius. There was a guy who lost his job, and he went out on the street, and instead of asking for money and begging for food and money, he handed out resumes.
Oh.
And he just stood on the corner and he said, I don't want anything from anybody, I just want a job. And it almost makes me cry. just
No,
to
I
think
wasn't.
about it.
I'm just thinking about it right now.
Yeah.
What's it with you and your son? Your son made me cry now.
I
I'm gonna
know,
cry.
I just thought how innovative to come up with that idea. And he got over 200 offers for a job because they were like, this guy is so ambitious and so driven that he would go out on the streets and hand out resumes. And I was like, why doesn't more people do that? Just hand out your resumes.
Exactly.
That was
If
brilliant.
anybody's watching this, I hope somebody is, and you know somebody, help them with a resume. If you have a family member that you're like, I wish they can get a job, but they can't, instead of asking for money or handouts or anything like that, or say, not even that, say they have no clue, they don't know what to do, they're at their last rope, right? Then help them with a small little resume and have them hand out the resume. And the reason it brought tears to my eyes, because I remember in 2008 when the market crashed, me and everybody lost their houses. My husband and I lost our house. And
We did too.
yeah, and my husband says, well, what are we gonna do now? I said, well, we're gonna squat a bit, we're gonna go to rent an apartment. And I remember that look on his face, just that sad look on his face, and a desperation, wow, what am I gonna do? But I remember there was a man, shortly after he got a job, there was a man on a corner, Caucasian man, right? Nicely dressed, everything, nice shirt, everything. And he was holding up a sign, just looking for a job. And when I saw that, I thought, wow, let that guy be an inspiration, not give me food, but I just want a job. And I was wowed. And we actually pulled over. And because Robert had just got, it was at, what was it? I can't remember what the company was. But he gave that man the telephone number, said, here, man, I just got a job. Go apply for that job. We didn't see that guy in that corner about a month later. And it's just scary because you've been there, I've been there, and it's hard because us as wives, we stay home, we try to hold down the fort. You're an actress, and I'm a recording artist, and now doing the show. We do whatever we can to be here for our husbands. And a lot of people don't understand, why aren't you guys working a full-time job? Well, our husbands, your husband's a military contractor. My husband's a military contractor. And we are here as their support, because it's a hard life for them. But seeing men like that, we understand how it puts our men in that situation, So if you know anybody that is struggling that way too, be there some kind of support, help them out, make a resume, go to a friend. You have to have somebody that'll make it a resume, or like this one guy, he dressed up nice in a nice polo shirt and a nice pair of pants, Docker pants, Yeah. And he just said, I want a job, And it's something else here. Art left these napkins. He left these napkins. But yeah, it's there's so many things. Like I said again, my mom says you don't ever know what people are going through in life. You don't know what their situations are. You don't know what their problems are. You don't know where they come. You don't know where they've been. You don't know where they're going. You don't know. It could be somebody running away from abuse, somebody running away to a different town. I know personally, of course, not mentioning names. I know somebody, somebody that used to live near me years ago, and she moved far away, changed her name, and I don't even know where she lives at. Every now and then she'll drop me a line, right? Because she's hiding from her ex-husband.
Oh, wow.
Because her ex-husband was so abusive. So abusive. Would not let her go, threatened to kill her in everything, right? Because he was so abusive. you know, and she finally said, you know what, I'm out of here. And she waited till he was asleep, she grabbed the kids and she left, and she flew, just boom, gone, out of here, right? It's terrible. Yeah, there's a lot of people that do that, you know, so. But again, we all have choices. This is a big, humongous world. When you feel like you don't have any choices, literally sit and think and look at the people around you, right? Get out of your box. Think out of that box. You know? Yeah. Anything else you want to tell us after we've cried? No? You working on anything other than that? You want any interviews and things like that, and trying to get some other roles and stuff?
Well, I'm always auditioning.
So if anybody out there wants a trampy looking woman that hates her kids, here she is, okay?
I could do other things too.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me.
You and your son have been like the most wonderful. Again, like we had him a couple of weeks ago.
He's wonderful.
He's wonderful. So anyway, look out for Miss Olivia Paux, right?
Yes.
And you never know, she might. Check out that movie. What's the name of that movie again?
Bipolar Bear.
Bipolar Bear. And is it on, where is it on?
It's on, where would it be on now? It's streaming. I'm not sure where it would be.
Is it on Netflix or Amazon?
Maybe.
Yeah,
Amazon,
so check on Amazon and Bipolar Bear and check out Miss Trampo here. And again, she's nothing like that role, but she played a really, really good role. And okay, then we'll definitely again have you back again, and hopefully next time you want another tramp, I can play the tramp.
Good. I'll call you. I'll be trampsters.
Good. We'll be right back.
Join Techeetah Lopez and Hollywood in the Park's entire audience by advertising your brand, product, or personality with your commercial here. Email techeetah@gmail.com for more info.
Oh, 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 what a spanking. But man, does it feel good. Hello? Yeah, that's right. This is the show where we take you a funk above the rest. Where you hear the old funk, the new funk,
Take a good look at the click, look at the shine, man. Look at how we dipping and moving, getting the grind, man.
the everything in between funk.
Sometimes I find myself acting just like a hero. That's right, I do it for my family.
We showcase new independent artists, and yes, we even throw in a little affection.
Is this just a dream?
Yep, this is the funkiest show on radio.
Join Techeetah Lopez and Hollywood in the Park's entire audience by advertising your brand, product, or personality with your commercial here. Email techeetah@gmail.com for more info.
Cornbread, oh, more and children. Cornbread, oh, Gucci, 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 Gucci. Cornbread.
Hello everybody, and this is me, your queen of salsa soul, right here in the kitchen. Okay, well, you know, moi, I love to eat, right? Well, you know, we always have to make the best choices, and I always do I try to be as vegetarian and as vegan as I possibly can be, right? Because esta gordita needs to put some good stuff in her body, okay? And today I have Chef Extraordinaire Veganista, Chef Vanessa Burgos. And we're gonna bring her right here, right now, and she's gonna show you how to make, matter of fact, I'll let her tell you what she's gonna make. Hey, come on over here, Vanessa. Here she comes to save the day.
Hello, everyone.
Right,
Thank you for having me.
Oh, honey, thank you. You know what? Every time I go to an Oriental place or a Thai place or anything, they always have these really good rolls, and I'm like, what's that stuff around it? It almost looks like an alien-ish thing. Have you ever seen those movie Aliens where they come out of the little pods and
Yeah.
or they look like rubbers or something? I also do damn good rubber, but just kidding. But anyway, so I love these rolls and they're really, really good, right? So you're gonna tell everybody what you're gonna make for us today.
Today I will be making a rice quinoa spring roll, and it's gonna have a Thai peanut sauce. And I have a bunch of fresh vegetables that I wanna add to the dish.
Okay, great. So go ahead and make away and I will let her do her thing.
Okay. So these are the rice papers that you make the spring roll with. I wanna quickly show you guys how I make the quinoa. I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And
Wow,
here-
you're so good. You don't even have to measure it, right?
No.
Oh, wow, that's wonderful. You know what? Sometimes you have a good hand to be able to do that.
Yeah, after a while of cooking, you know how to like eyeball like a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. And I also add some kosher salt, a pinch of kosher salt. So you want to lightly toast it just to give the quinoa some texture. It's like cooking a rice, so it's 1 part grain to 2 part liquid, which can be a broth or it can be water. Here I have hot water. It's 2 cups.
So you just put water and kosher sauce in it.
Yes.
Okay.
You can also add vegetable bouillon, and that gives it great flavor as well.
Oh, I love the vegetable bouillon.
Yes. You let it boil for about 2-3 minutes, and then you want to cover it for 15 minutes. So here's what the quinoa looks like once it's fully cooked.
Wow, it looks like rice.
Yes, yes.
Oh my gosh.
And that's a tip that I recommend for you guys, to toast the quinoa a little bit so that it can be nice and separated and you don't get like a mushy finish.
And you were saying that you also can use it in other stuff too, you were saying?
You can use the quinoa for quinoa bars with like dried fruits, or you can make quinoa fritters, use it in a salad. So it's very versatile, and it's a light grain.
Wonderful. Okay.
Sounds good. I like it.
So I want to show you guys how I pre-cut these vegetables. I'll start off with the Persian cucumber. You want to cut the end, and then I cut it in half, and I just cut it into thin slices. And you want to try to cut it all the same so you get a uniform cut. And this is a julienne cut, by the way, guys.
Okay.
I'll move this aside for you so it won't fall.
Yeah.
She's trying to get closer to the food again.
I know, I was going to grab something.
She does that all the time.
And Persian cucumbers, these are one of my favorites. I absolutely love how crunchy it is. It's very fresh.
And when you go to the store, does it say Persian cucumber on it?
Yes.
Really? I've never seen it. Have you seen it?
No, I have not.
But then I think we're going to the Mexican stores and stuff. I think you go to the places where
we're going to
like
Vallarta
Trader
and
Joe's.
Ralph's.
You go to Trader Joe's where it says Persian,
That's right.
Indian, white. And the Mexican ones are over there, okay? We're not in a sense.
Los pepinos.
Pepinos, I know. And I knew exactly.
That's a difference between us cooking and a chef.
Yeah, exactly. And she's cutting in julienne cut.
So here's your julienne cut. And these are the Persian cucumber.
I'm going to grab one.
Once it starts, it might not stop. Yeah, I know.
So these are scallions, or green, also known as green onions. So I cut the tips off, and I like to cut it at an angle.
I forgot to turn it.
Oh wow, that's how they do it. Oh,
At an angle? See, now I'm learning right
so,
now.
first of all, I always they say scallions. I go, well, isn't that the end of the green onion? And somebody told me not. I go, they're such a liar. But you know what? Now I know how to get that really pretty look of a scallion. You cut it at an angle.
You see? And you can use it as a garnish on top, or, you know, for your fried rice. In this case, I'm gonna use it to place it inside the spring roll. Okay. And bell pepper, I cut it from the middle. And you always want to take out the seeds and the vein as well. And because I like to grow my my vegetables, I do have a compost pile that I use for my soil, and all my ends, like onions or carrot peels, I keep that for my compost.
Girl, you know you're worth your weight in gold, right? Growing vegetables, cooking.
Vanessa, I have a question. How long have you been a chef now?
I've been a chef for 11 years now.
How long? Okay, I did not know. I did not remember.
Wow. Good girl.
So I started off in the kitchen and at Cheesecake Factory. That was my first job, and I was working a station that 50 parties of 50, 25, so I had to really pick up speed. And there's a saying in Spanish that it says, echando a perder se aprende. And that, boy, have I learned. I burned myself, but with time I have learned, and I now own Organic Sprouts. Is a meal prep company, and I also have a food truck.
Wonderful, wonderful.
That's awesome.
So you own a company called Organic Sprouts.
Yes. And I am based out of Los Angeles, California.
Wow, look at this.
She's cutting without looking.
Oh my God. You know what? I wouldn't even know how to even cut. And I tried doing that. Oh, honey, if you saw some of my cutting skills on some of my segments, you would laugh. Oh my God, laugh, laugh, laugh. Because I wouldn't even know how to do it. But anyway, I just thought I had to take that. So go back, because I was ready to eat.
And next I just peeled the carrot and I just cut it in half. And the same, you want to make sure to julienne cut all your vegetables. You can add anything that is fresh. When I think of, you know, making dishes, I like my dishes to have a lot of color, so that way people, when they eat with their eyes first, and when they see that something looks good, they're like, I want to try that. And so that's how I come up with recipes, based on what's in season, and put a little bit of twist, my own twist to it.
Wow.
So I'm gonna place the rice paper in warm water, like room temperature water.
That's how you do it.
And you wanna let it sit for a few minutes. You'll notice when it starts to get soft, because the texture becomes different. You see, when you get the rice paper, it's a little hard, and then when you add it to the bowl, it begins to get soft. So
Can you put more than one in there, or does it
you can
get
put
stuck?
more than one, of course.
But it'll get stuck though, huh? If you leave them in there too long? Or no?
It will get stuck, but that's why you want to do 2 at a time, not too many.
That's kind of like a timely process then, huh?
Yeah.
Oh God. Damn. And how long? Is it like a noodle? Yeah. Is it so while she's getting the warm water, right? So
What was that?
I
Were
have
you
to taste
talking?
to make sure it's organic. Okay?
You were talking, suddenly I realized that you stopped and I had to take a...
Oh wow. I'm sorry, but you know me and vegetables,
I know.
they cry out, eat me, eat me. I want you to, oh that didn't sound right. Oh God, oh hell no. The vegetables are saying, please devour me. No, that just sounds like either.
That's on
Oh
bed.
my God, why do you, oh God, anyway.
You started it.
Okay, I'm out.
So you see, it goes from the hard texture to soft, and it's more flexible. So
Almost like a wet piece of paper, huh?
yeah.
Wow, amazing.
And there's no order to this. I just put a little bit of the watercress, pea shoots.
That's okay. I'll
Wait, Vanessa, did something slip out of your hand and she grabbed it?
It's amazing how it fell in my hand.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But
Some peppers, carrot. You want to add like about a tablespoon of quinoa,
oh wow.
a little bit of kale,
Wow.
and the cucumber landed on your pan.
Oh no.
Yeah, you're like setting her up for food over there. You know, no cucumber or carrot has landed over here on this camera that I'm using.
It burped.
So you always want to shake off the excess water.
My neighbors are just waiting to come out of quarantine, right? And you know they've already lifted. On having people go out and things like that, you know.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, we're gonna go over to your house and eat all your food.
Yeah, it was like about 2 months or something of quarantine.
Terrible, yeah. Some of the elderly are still, you know, indoors, like my mom, she's still indoors. I told my mom, you like this too much. She says, you know me. I'd rather be indoors. Beautiful. Look at how pretty that looks. Ow, 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 ow. Oh, both holders. So smart.
Join Techeetah Lopez and Hollywood in the Park's entire audience by advertising your brand, product, or personality with your commercial here. Email techeetah@gmail.com for more info.
Oh, 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 what a spanking. But man, does it feel good. Hello? Yeah, that's right. This is the show where we take you a funk above the rest. Where you hear the old funk, the new funk,
Take a good look at the click, look at the shine, man. Look at how we dipping and moving, getting the grind, man.
the everything in between funk.
Sometimes I find myself acting just like a hero. That's right. I do it for my family.
We showcase new independent artists, and yes, we even throw in a little affection.
Is this just a dream?
Yep, this is the funkiest show on radio.
Okay, so the next thing I will be making for the spring rolls is the Thai peanut sauce. And it has brown sugar, some soy sauce, and low sodium soy sauce, peanut butter, Thai chili sauce, a little bit of sesame seeds, and sriracha.
That sounds yummy.
So it's about a tablespoon and a half of brown sugar. And I'm gonna add about 3 to 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, half tablespoon of sriracha,
Ooh, sriracha.
and Thai chili sauce,
Wow.
Me gusta, yeah.
Really, huh?
some peanut butter, and I'm gonna add a little bit of toasted sesame seeds and just a little bit of lemon juice. And you wanna whisk it until it's well incorporated.
But there was an earthquake
What
in here.
made you? Okay. I know, because she's moving it. What made you want to be a cook?
When I was a young girl, my mom was an amazing cook. And I would see her cook, and I would try to cook breakfast for them on Sunday morning. I would get on a chair, and I would cook for them. Even if the eggs had shells in it, they would be like, "Oh my gosh, it's so good!" But it like boosted my, you know.
And the consistency of this. I'm back in the camera. And I'm trying to give her space. And the consistency of this is so wonderful. So by you making the eggs with the shells in it, you're like,
I was just like, I like to cook. And every time I would come home from school, in middle school, I would tell my friends, let's go home to my house and bake a cake. And that was my thing.
Really?
Like, I always liked to
you
cook.
always have that one friend that likes to cook. But you know what? There are women, and I'm sorry, girls, if you're gonna get mad at me for saying this. Well, oh wow, you turned it off. But I cannot stand that woman. Okay. Oh my gosh, I don't even know how to boil water. Jeff does all the cooking. And what do you do? Oh, I don't know, I'm just sitting there waiting for him to finish. I go, aloha. I'm like,
no. Being a woman is such a beautiful thing, and when you know how to cook or you know how to do things that
nourish your family.
Yes.
It's a pride. If somebody gives me a pan or utensils for Christmas, I'm like, oh my God, thank you, right? And if they give me like some soap or stuff, I'm like, oh, I can make that better.
Yeah.
But if they give me pots and pans, I'm like, oh my God, thank you, mija. Other women are like, what, are you telling me I need to cook?
No, I learned how to crochet. I just want to taste before you, and it is delicious.
All right, okay. So come over here. Let me see. Girl, you know I ain't gonna bullshit you, right?
And tell me the truth.
Let's see. Okay. Oh my gosh.
This is great. The vegetables, fresh, tasty.
So delicious. It's better than sex.
She said my food is better than sex.
There you
Okay,
go.
y'all, you gotta try this recipe out.
Considering I ain't having none right now because my husband's in Iraq, this will do. For anybody to get hold of you, how would they get a hold of you?
You can follow me on Organic Sprouts LA on Instagram and Facebook. And you can also follow my personal page is Vanessa L. Burgos on Instagram.
So it's Organic Sprouts LA. It's right here on the bottom, Organic Sprouts LA. And it'll also be at the end of the video. But most of all, can we have I hear you make the best fritters. Oh my God, and the fritters, what are they made out of again?
Zucchini fritters.
Zucchini fritters. So can we have you back to have
Please.
zucchini fritters? Oh my God,
Of course,
please.
I would love to come
All
back.
right, so zucchini fritters. And again, thank you, sweetie. Oh, let me
Thank
give
you
you a
for
hug.
having me.
Mwah.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you guys.
And this is, I can't even talk right now because I have my mouth full of food. But anyway, this is your mixing in the kitchen. And we'll be right back. Absolutely wonderful food, beautiful.
Join Techeetah Lopez and Hollywood in the Park's entire audience by advertising your brand, product, or personality with your commercial here. Email techeetah@gmail.com for more info.
Hello, Techeetah and everyone tuning in to Hollywood in the Park. This is Andy Valentine on behalf of the Neon ROMEOZ all the way from Stockholm, Sweden. And I want to say thank you for supporting us and sharing our music with your wonderful audience. Y'all got great taste. Have a great show and say hi to Skip the Funktologist. Peace and love.
Två stycken telesladdar bara, som folkslärare. De är såna här. Bra.
Ready when you are. You know I lead a lavish lifestyle. I can't be seen driving around in no Volvo and blue jeans. I don't think so. A sexy suit's the only way to go. Yeah. All I want is just a little cash, just a little bit. I don't need a whole lot of dough, just a little bit, just to pay the bills. Put $1 million in my pocket, take you for a ride on my rocket. Stretch your hand out and touch the sky. It's gonna cost, but we'll have such a good time. You know they say talk is cheap, but I ain't talking about talking. No romance without the finance, baby. All I want is just a little cash, just a little bit. I don't close your eyes and play, girl. Just close your eyes and now you make me. All I want is just a little cash, just a little bit. I don't need a whole lot of dough, just a little bit. Just to pay the bills, baby. Johnny boy. T-Bone on this. Break it down right here. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Hey. A scent of passion fills the air.
Everywhere, everywhere.
Close your eyes, we got all night.
To do it right, to do it right.
We can do a little dance. Nothing here is left to chance. You pay the call to be the ball. Now tell me what's your demand. All I want is just a little cash, just a little bit. I don't need a whole lot of dough, just a little bit. Just to pay the bill. All I want is just a little cash, just a little bit. Just a little bit, just a little bit. I don't need a whole lot of dough, just a little bit. Check it out, y'all, check it out right here. Thank you. Just a little cash.